We're starting to understand that, kindness and compassion are better than belligerence and resentment. We're starting to become citizens of the whole universe. And we really, truly are, Neil deGrasse Tyson said, we are stardust in the highest exalted way possible, called by the universe, reaching out to the universe. We are part of the universe, and the universe exists in us. And that's poetic truth, but it's also literal truth. Every single one of us, is made of stardust. Celestial molecules are what make us up. Every atom in your body originated in a star. And, that's the place where helium and hydrogen are turned into heavier elements. And then at a certain point in the star's life, it explodes in a supernova and spreads all those elements everywhere. And so every carbon atom, every nitrogen atom, every atom in our bodies came from a star. We're stardust. We are. That's literal truth and poetic truth as well. We're made of the universe, and the universe is in us. Called by the universe. I love that. Reaching out to the universe. Feeling something reaching back towards us. We're finally starting to expand our minds to be able to see this and understand it, and to understand the size and the beauty and the magnificence of our home, the universe. I found a wonderful, wonderful story I want to share with you. It's from an 18th century teacher of Hasidic Judaism, whose name was Reb Nachman of Breslov. And he told a story about a kingdom whose entire grain harvest had been infected by a virus. And the virus produced a poison so that when a person ate it, it made the person lose all touch with reality. And they had no grain stored. This was it. This was this year's crop. So the king and his counselor were saying, what are we going to do? And the king said, well, maybe we feed the grain to them, but we don't eat it so that we can stay clear and govern. And they thought about it some more, and the king realized that if he did that, he would have no idea what all of his subjects were thinking, what reality they were living in. So he said, well, we better all eat it. But what I want to do is issue a law that says everyone has to put a mark on their forehead. And every morning, when they see that mark in the mirror, they have to ask, what does this mark on my forehead mean? So that one day in the future, they would remember. They would remember that the reality, with a small r, that they'd been living in was not the truth. I love that story because it tells us a lot about ourselves. It tells us a lot about what we've forgotten. We have forgotten, really, who we are. We have forgotten what the mark on our forehead means, and we've forgotten that we come from the universe, and that the universe lives in us, and that we come from the same power that created it, created us, whatever you want to call it. Whether you call it God, or intelligence, or life, or the universe, the source of who we are. And we forgot about our true nature in that. But there's always something that sort of nudges us back to reality with a capital R. Reality with a capital R. It's the questions we ask ourselves. Like, why am I here? And where did I come from? And what's my purpose here? It's the yearning we have to be one with something larger than ourselves. It's the, oh man, I used to go camping with my dad, and we'd go up to the wilderness in Utah, and that was a place where you could lie on your back at night and see the entirety of the Milky Way because we were so far away from the lights. If you've never had that experience, find a place to do it. Go to the desert somewhere or something. But when you look into the magnificence of the Milky Way that is filling the sky, and you can see it, the only response is like awe. You just fall into this state of understanding that that's what we belong to. That and more and more and more. It's also the joy that we feel when we help each other, when we extend ourselves for another person. And it's also the heartbreak we feel when we see another being suffering. It's all that. Those things are all marks on our foreheads, inviting us to ask, what and who am I really? What is my capital R reality? We're always being invited into that larger reality of who we really are and why we're here. We're always being invited into that universal citizenry rather than just our own little corner of the world.